Okay, so let's just start with that statement right there. The future is written. You have free will. On the surface, that feels like it should be impossible, right? How can the future be totally set in stone, but at the same time, we get to choose our own path? It's a paradox that has tied thinkers in knots for centuries. But what if it's not a paradox at all? What if both are true at the exact same time? So this is the classic showdown. In one corner, you've got determinism, the idea that everything that happens is basically a giant cosmic domino rally. One thing knocks over the next, and the path is totally fixed. The whole story's already written. And in the other corner, you have free will, the belief that we are the ones in the driver's seat. We make choices, real choices, that actually shape what happens next. And for pretty much all of history, you've had to pick a side. They just can't both be true. Or can they? So how do we square this circle? How can the path be set, and yet we're still the ones walking it, making our own turns? Well, the perspective we're digging into today says the answer isn't about choosing a side. It's about realizing we've been playing the game with the wrong rulebook all along. To solve this, we need to question something so basic, so fundamental to how we see the world, that most of us don't even realize it's an assumption we're making. Because here's the big reveal. The whole problem, it isn't with determinism or free will. The real problem is with our understanding of time. We've been trying to solve this incredible, complex puzzle using basically Stone Age logic. Okay, so what do we mean by Stone Age logic? Well, you can think of it like the basic operating system our brains have been running on since, well, forever. It's a system built on a very simple, very linear experience of the world. I mean, just picture it from way back when. First, you see an animal, then you throw the stone, then if you're lucky, the stone hits the animal. A leads to B, which leads to C. It's a sequence, right? One event following another, marching down this one-way street we call time. And that very basic experience, it's the foundation for how we think. And what's really amazing is how we took that simple, primal experience and turned it into formal logic. You know, if A and B are true, then C becomes true. That little if-then formula, it's the absolute bedrock of all our science, our math, our programming. It's built our entire modern world. But look really closely. It's that one little word right in the middle, then. That word secretly chains our entire way of thinking to this forward-moving arrow of time. It's an assumption that's buried so deep, we don't even notice it's there. So, what if we did something really radical? What if we performed a tiny little bit of conceptual surgery on that logic? What if we just take out that one single word that ties it all to time? And suddenly, the whole picture changes. Instead of if this, then that, it becomes A, B, and C just are. See the shift? It's not a chain reaction anymore. It's a state of being. The events don't just happen one after the other. They all simply coexist. Now, that might seem like a tiny little change in wording, but the implications for how the universe works, they're huge. So if events can coexist like that, without time acting as a barrier between them, what does that mean? It means they can interact with each other, instantly. So what happens when you take time out of the equation? This leads us to a really cool idea: instant interaction. It's an interaction that doesn't need time to happen, where information travels at basically infinite speed. And you know what? We actually see weird hints of this in modern physics. Think about quantum entanglement. You have two particles, you separate them by a huge distance, and the moment you measure one, the other one instantly knows. It's as if they're communicating faster than light, breaking all the rules. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Hang on a second. Einstein, the theory of relativity, right? Nothing can travel faster than the speed of light. It's the ultimate cosmic speed limit. And according to the thinking we're exploring here, that belief, well, it might be the biggest trap holding back modern science. And here's why. The argument goes like this. The speed of light is a physical limit for physical things. You know, a spaceship, a rock, a particle. But information itself, the idea, the pattern, the blueprint, that's not a physical object. It's metaphysical. Think about it. A blueprint for a rocket isn't affected by gravity. It doesn't have mass. And so the argument is, since pure information isn't physical, it isn't bound by physical laws. There's really nothing stopping it from traveling at infinite speed, connecting any 2 points in space and time in an instant. All right, so if we roll with this idea of timeless logic and instant information, what does that do to our old school, rigid idea of determinism? Well, it doesn't break it. It actually gives it a massive upgrade. You see, classical determinism pictured the universe as this perfectly sealed box, a totally closed system. If you knew exactly how it started, you could predict everything that would ever happen inside it. But this new model, we can call it open determinism, sees the universe as, well, an open system. There are still rules, for sure, but new information, new influences can come in from the outside. And here is the absolute key. In this kind of open system, a choice you make with your free will, it's just another piece of information entering the system. It's an influence, just like any other. Your free choice becomes one of the things that determines the outcome. See? It's not a contradiction anymore. Your choice is literally part of the deterministic equation. Okay, I know, this is some pretty mind-bending stuff. A timeless, open, deterministic universe where your free will is just an input. Yeah, it's a lot. But to help it all click into place, there's this fantastic analogy that just ties it all together. I want you to imagine that the entire universe, everything from the Big Bang all the way to its end, is a single, giant vinyl record. So let's break that down. The record itself? That's all of space-time, the whole shebang. The song that's physically pressed into those grooves? That's your entire life, from the first second to the last. It's all there. And the needle playing the song? Well, that's your consciousness. That's your experience of the here and now as it moves along that pre-written track. Now, think about this. If you could somehow step outside of time and just look at the whole record at once, you'd see the entire song. The beginning, the middle, the end, it's all there, existing simultaneously. From that timeless point of view, the song is absolutely fixed. It is determined. But, and this is the magic part, from the perspective of the needle, living inside that one single moment, the song hasn't been played yet. It's unfolding, right now. The choices you're making, the notes you're about to hit, they feel completely real, totally spontaneous, and unpredictable. From the needle's point of view, you have free will. See? Both things are true. It just depends on your perspective. So if this is how it works, if our life is this cosmic record, does that mean we can, I don't know, somehow hear the parts of the song that are coming up? Well, the idea is, yeah, we can. In fact, we probably do it all the time. Think about it. What's a memory? It's just information showing up in your now from a point in your past on the record. Well, what if intuition or even some dreams are the exact same thing, but in reverse? What if they're faint signals arriving from your future self further down the track? If that's true, then that gut feeling you have right now, it's this incredibly rich mix of all the influences from your entire timeline, past and future, all converging on this one single point in time. And that leaves us with one last, pretty profound thought to chew on. If your choices are what's writing a song that from another perspective already exists, and your intuition is a whisper of the music you haven't played yet, then maybe the best way to navigate your path is to get really, really good at listening. So the question to leave you with is, if your intuition is a whisper from the future, are you listening?